I'm literally on fire right now. I just got off the phone with my wife, who took my 9 and 7-year-old boys to the doctor today to get physicals for tackle football and school next year and all that other. My 9-year-old son went in first, and the first thing this woman asks him is if he identifies as a boy, a girl, gender fluid, or non-binary. My son, he's never heard of any of that before. You've been dealing with him your whole life. He is clearly a boy's boy.
I don't know if you caught that or not. You caught the part about her asking how he identifies. We'll come back to that in a second. But he said she has been dealing with him. This has been their doctor for a while. She knows the boys. Maybe all their lives. These are 9 and 7-year-old boys getting ready for football, and they have to get a physical. And so she knows exactly who these boys are, what they have been. She even knows their parents. And to turn around, really to have the audacity to ask if you are gender fluid, non-binary, what have you, you know good and well these are boys. But there's an agenda here.
So what are you trying to plant a seed in his head?
I think that's exactly what she's trying to do. Either she intentionally is trying to plant a seed, maybe through some sort of training, maybe the hospital that she works for, what have you. But now you've got something happening where they're not just trying to plant a seed, they are trying to indoctrinate, even if it's subtly, subconsciously.
The only thing I could be thankful for is that my wife took them instead of me. And props to my wife because she said something. And if she didn't, they would have asked my 7-year-old son the same damn question.
Without question, they would have asked the next child. But here's the other thing. What happens when the parents are not around? Let's say the child is taken to the hospital or goes to a school nurse or what have you, and they ask them the same thing. What is the child going to say? He won't know. She won't know. They may even feel the need to guide the child. What do you think? How do you feel? Kids are kids. They're not sexual. We make them out to be sexual, but that's what they're doing. There is this scheme that is not new. We've seen this even all throughout the Bible. We have seen where the enemy has intentionally gone after children. Obviously, it's not a mystery. Children are the future. If you can turn them, then you can turn and control the future.
And to the people out there who think that there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm just a transphobe or all that, you're f***ed up. This is and there's something wrong with you.
There's nothing absolutely wrong with this man at all. As a matter of fact, he is doing what he's supposed to. I wonder what you all would do. Hopefully that you would be the same way. I don't know how you would handle it. If it'd be profanity laced, you might be forgiven for that. If it'd be something where you're going to go off, these are your children. And so I would love to know, what would you do? I'd hate to think of what I would do if it were me. Thankfully, my children are old enough, but I've got grandchildren. And if you do anything to harm them or to pose as a threat, and this is a threat, then there'd be problems. There would be some serious problems because what you're doing is you're trying to harm my children. Let's be clear. Transgender kids, first of all, the vast majority, some reports up to 90+% of them who have transitioned or who have taken some puberty blockers or what have you, they regretted it. We're going to have a generation of kids who have been experimented on, who are going to grow up angry, full of rage, who are going to resent the people that did this to them, including their parents. I suspect there's going to be a lot of lawsuits coming in the future as well, because these kids who could not give consent, who trusted their well-being to their parents, are going to find out they've been betrayed by the people that say they love them. And that woe where God says, woe to them who call evil for good and good evil, who exchange dark for light, woe to them. Well, he gives a glimpse, sort of, when he says that it would be better for these kind of people, and we'll just keep reiterating, these people to have a millstone hung around their neck and thrown into the ocean. That would be better for you, because what God is going to do is going to be far worse. But look what's happened to this country. We're going to have a bunch of people with millstones hung around their necks if we were to take this literally. But whatever God's going to do, he's not going to do it to just them. He is going to, at some point in time, do it to the nation that also gives approval to what's happening here.